to the Raw and Wild Hearts, a place where the raw, the unfiltered, the wild hearts gather to celebrate triumphs and hardships, learn from each other, grow together, and break down a culture rooted in fear. We will talk, we will laugh, and we will lean on each other about everyday life experiences that we could all use a little support through, and then we'll bask in the wild, magical beings that we are. My philosophy is that by embracing the dark, we may just let in the light. I am your host, Lori Rising, healer, educator, writer, adventurer, retreat leader, birth defender, and animal enthusiast and activist. Along with my wild heart sidekick Kitty, Beezus the Brave, we'd like to invite you to get excited about the Wild Heart Revolution. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Raw and Wild Hearts podcast. I am your host, Lori Rising, and welcome to today's episode. Let's talk Lionsgate, shall we? Oh, this is going to be a fun exchange. I'm so glad you're here. If you are new here, welcome. Welcome to the spiritual party here on Earth. Do not forget that. Integration is key. If you've been following me for a while and hanging out with what I share and my medicine, you know that as an embodiment guide, I am all about that integration because we cannot change the 3D physical reality without the embodiment of our light sources and our light selves and all of the evolution that's coming through. P.S. So, yeah, it's a great place to start, but do make sure you go back through the library because I have so many bomb guests that are throwing down all kinds of wisdom up in here. So check it all out. They are absolutely timeless. And if you've been on this magic carpet ride for a while with me, thank you so much for being here. I absolutely appreciate you. I'm grateful for you. And I feel the energy as a collective here, and it always lights everything that I create and offer here. So if you would like to know a little bit more about me, head on over to my website at therawandwildhearts.com. I have so much going down right now. I mean, are you feeling me? These energies just keep ramping up. Sometimes I like those big hits where we just have to go internal because it's just like we need that rest. We need that release sometimes. So, but for now, I've got in-person retreats. I have a very intimate and advanced Awaken Your Fire retreat in Mexico near Todos Santos, which is near the Tropic of Cancer, January 26th to 31st. And I'm talking about it now because I want you to plant that seed. If this feels like the full-on evolution that you're ready for the absolute ascension that's going to happen during this time together in this very carefully cultivated sacred space, then plant that seed, start creating that frequency of knowing without a doubt that you are meant to be a part of this container and experience. Magnetize it to you, right? Hold that timeline, be available for the possibilities coming in everywhere that are going to assist you and support you in being there and becoming a whole new multidimensional you. And yeah, I've got my signature program, Awaken Your Life Force digital course. I've got a live iteration coming up and it's still at launch price. So check that out because the people in this container are off the hook and we have a blast together. That's going to be coming up live in October. And of course, I have my moon ceremonies and membership circle and meditations and so much more. But if you would like to support this work right now in the here and now, and if you're on Apple Podcasts, pause this, go to the show page, scroll down, give us that beautiful 5 golden stars, and then write a review. It's basically like writing a text message. Literally, y'all. It takes 60 to 90 seconds, and it really, really helps the show out. So if this transmission, I want to say, is igniting your soul and your fire up, if you're resonating deeply with what is coming through me, share it with your communities. an episode, share the show. Like, let's spread the word. I really appreciate it. And it does help support this work continuing to come out in a free platform. So let's get into it. The Lionsgate, y'all. Make sure to check the links below in the show notes because I have a free Lionsgate portal activation happening on 8/8, which is this Monday, and we would love to feel your energy there. But the replay is available because every time we go through a new cosmic event like this, there's such an opportunity to up level and upgrade ourselves with the crystalline light codes coming in that I just want to spread this far and wide because this is how we create the ripple effect. This is how we change the 3D reality in quantum ways. So sign up for the Lionsgate event. And also, I did an amazing surprise IG live on the historic Mars, Uranus, and North Node conjunction in Taurus that just happened last week, August 1st, with the amazing astrologer Kelsey Isis. And y'all, we had a blast. We had so much fun, and everyone who showed up live really elevated the energy, and we felt that frequency, and the channeling was coming in, the excitement and the passion were coming in. I mean, yeah, we just went off. And that's really where we can go deeply in these energies and in these big transits and big shifts, even in the shadow, in the growth that we're asked to be a part of to create deeper evolution and ascension for ourselves personally and for the collective. And you know who you are. You're a star seed, you're a light worker, you're a light line holder, you're a light master. You are ushering in the strength and sovereignty of the new earth rebirth or revolution that's happening on the planet. And you're holding the frequency for others to tap into. It's like I see this. It's the teeter-totter, right? This year to me really it's about inspired action, but it's also about tipping the scales in divine ways, right? In the new earth way. We are having such deep reveals. I mean, this nodal axis with the North Node in Taurus and the South Node in Scorpio is hardcore, right? These are fixed energies. And Scorpio, I mean, thank you, Scorpio. I find Scorpio to be like one of the most intense astrological energies out there, and we absolutely need it to excavate and dig up our underbelly that has been operating in this culture for far too long. Yes. Okay, so thank you, Scorpio. So yeah, like we're really at that fulcrum point where so much has been revealed within ourselves and within the collective that now our belief systems are tipping into new territories, but they're staying there. And that's the key. That's where the teeter is starting to totter, right? Because the programming and the conditioning, the messaging has a harder and harder time to get its claws in us. And I mean, this runs deep, especially on a cellular level and subconscious basis. So that is why the intentional practice that we do on a daily basis is so important, because that's how we dehypnotize what has become our reality without our consent. And we create the reality that we want to call in, that we were truly meant to live here in. And so the Lionsgate gateway, the activation time of mass light on the planet pouring into our cells and DNA is only going to push us forward. So do make sure to check out that IG live I did with Kelsey, because I promise you are going to get stoked. You're going to laugh. You're going to feel inspired, and you're going to feel the energy of being a part of a really supportive and sacred container. I have it on my YouTube channel, and I'm going to link that below. All right, y'all. So Lionsgate. I want to talk just a little bit. Actually, there's a pretty big reason that I'm on here today, and I'm being called to talk about something related to Lionsgate that's happening in the collective that I think is really important to call out and look at and excavate, quite honestly. And that is the controversy about the Lionsgate portal and whether or not it is on 8/8, if that's the date of this portal activation. Now, astrology is becoming such a huge support and guidance in our life for a very profound reason. We are in co-creation energy all the time with the cosmos, with the planetary fluctuations and transits and movements, with nature, with energy, and with ourselves. So naturally, with it growing at such an exponential rate, because it continues to prove itself and really show us how supportive it is in these major shifts and changes that we are going through from and with the cosmic tides, humanness comes in, right? Because humans are sharing their medicine of astrology, and they are sharing their knowledge of the science. And so here again, snooze fest, we find ourselves in a heated debate, in a divisiveness, in polarization, and also in fractured energy because of it. Now, I'm going to get to that soon, but let's just chat a little bit about what the lionsgate gateway and portal is. This is our time of full light activation and full light on this planet. So this goes back to ancient Egypt and how this time of our brightest light really translated through the cosmic energies, the resulting awakening and enlightenments that happened in humanity, along with the abundance, fertility, harvests, and heart activations really anchored into the reality all around. And it was through the collective consciousness and intuitive knowing, innate wisdom, and guidance of the people that they felt an elevation, they felt an evolution, they felt a different light frequency. They received new downloads and messages, especially during this time. And then they correlated it and connected it to what they were witnessing and viewing in the cosmos. Remember, back then, the stars were their TV. This was what they were plugging into on a mass consciousness level. Very different than what we have been trained to plug into. Feel into that for a second. Okay, so the gateway is somewhere around July 25th, 26th, 28th, maybe, until August 12th, maybe up to the 23rd. I mean, I've also read from July 23rd to August 23rd. So there's varying degrees of opinion of when the gateway starts and when the gateway ends. Okay, so that's fluid. And what happens is on July 25th is what's known as the day out of time. And that was basically a reset day on all levels, right? An energy reset, a physical reset, a time reset for the new Mayan calendar, which began on July 26th, which is really the start of the spiritual sun, or what's known as the spiritual sun, which is the star Sirius, our brightest star, rising into its brightest light, which takes it into the conjunction with our sun during Leo season, which is when our sun is at the brightest. And also Orion's belt is lining up with the pyramids of Giza. Okay. And so Sirius is, fun facts, 2 times the size of our sun and 26 times brighter. Okay. Now our sun provides the energy of our solar system. And then our solar plexus provides the energy of our lives. And the solar plexus is connected to Leo. So this is a fun little map that we get to weave through of what's really going down here. And there are so many other astrological influences happening, especially this year, when we look at the historic Mars, Uranus, and North Node in Taurus conjunction that just did happen on August 1st, which hasn't happened in like 2,300 years. It's a once in a lifetime aspect. We will be working with these energies until May of 2023. So this is only more activating for us. And then we can go back to our summer solstice, which is really our Stargate portal. And in that portal is where we reconnect with the divine starlight that we were before we took these human forms, and that we will return to when we leave these human forms. And so it's really connecting us or reawakening the star self that we are, that connects with all of life, right? All of intelligent life, all of life forms, all of energy around us. And then this portal, so that begins a portal into the summer, and this portal takes us into the brightest light of this season. And again, when I say summer, I know it's the northern hemisphere. It's different in the southern hemisphere. But this takes us into the brightest light of the season, which is when life really grows and expands from this life of light. So to me, it really feels like we've been building up and creating new space in ourselves from the summer solstice Stargate portal in order to receive the massive amounts of light that are coming in. Now, remember, also in Leo season, it's all about being in your heart space and center and activation, the Leo lion heart, right? And our hearts literally pump out photonic light. So it's like we're actually plugging in and being recharged from the massive amounts of light that are coming in through these alignments and through the rising of the star Sirius in its closest point to Earth. This is especially active for the starlights, the star seeds, the gatekeepers, the light masters that have been doing the deep permanent shedding of the limited scarcity and lack programs, conditioning, and mindsets that have been so repressive to ourselves and created such deep stagnations and blockages in our bodies, which have blocked the crystalline light codes from coming in and truly integrating into our beings and our cells and moving us into these deep spaces of evolution and enlightenment and new earth ways of living. So all of you out there that have been doing this deep ass work that is not for the faint of heart, like, you are going to be feeling this energy. You're going to be feeling the change. You're going to be feeling the opportunity to shift and grow and create in all new ways. So that's the gateway, right? And I think it's really important to be more fluid in our quote thinking. I don't need to quote it because we're really thinking, but I'm quoting it to accentuate the thinking part, because this is more about feeling. And that's why I wanted to come on and talk about the great debate. The last time I felt this energy, especially coming from astrologers, was with the great Aquarius conjunction on winter solstice of December 2020, when a lot of people were talking about that as the beginning, like the pivotal point to begin the age of Aquarius. And there were a lot of people coming in and saying, you know, this isn't the beginning of age of Aquarius. It's not for another 200 years, all of those things. Well, I will tell you what, I felt the power in that conjunction. And I also felt the collective excitement about the energies, the possibilities, and what was to come. Not only that, but it brought in so many more people into the fold of astrology and how it can help them in their lives and how it can guide them and support them through the tumultuous times that we are all living in right now in our physical reality. And so I was bummed about it back then, that it always seems in our culture to come back to a duality, a polarization, an us versus them, and I'm right, you're wrong, right? And it just like breaks my heart that it's coming into a community where it feels much more important for us to be in the wild possibilities of what humans came here to create on this planet, which are miracles, just from their belief in a collective from a high frequency. So I don't even know if I really said it, but the whole debate is about the actual portal activation being on 8/8 or not. Okay, so our good friend of the show and favorite intuitive astrologer, Molly McCord, let me in on some deets So I'm going to share those with you, right? So let's talk about the facts, right? The facts are that in tropical astrology, the alignment of Sirius and the sun happens at 16 degrees of Cancer. In Vedic astrology, the alignment of the sun and Sirius happens on August 1st. So there's nothing in the ephemeris that shows the alignment of Sirius the star and our solar system sun on August 8th. Okay, so there's that. And then we've got the numerology of 88. So we have a lot of numerology portals, right? Like 77, 11, 11, 8, 8. 8 is the number of abundance, infinity, prosperity, inner wisdom. It's also the geometric shape of our DNA. So maybe, just maybe, this portal actually becomes activated because of the numerology that pulls it in at its brightest peak on that day. That's a possibility. Maybe we are utilizing the numerology to our benefit because there is so much power in those numbers on that day that we have created the activation of the portal from our belief in 8/8 being our portal activation day. Y'all, we can literally create a portal together. Do you know that? Do you feel that? What does it take for us to create a portal together? It takes relentless, beautiful, aligned belief from the mass consciousness. This is what I want to get across right now because it is so 3D to keep the divisiveness going, to keep the polarization going, and quite honestly, to keep the confusion in humans going. That is where we have been disempowered for centuries, and it is not the New Earth way. So if you want to be here just to prove your point, to stay in the expert narrative that we have been sold by the institutionalized education system, which has put people in such limited boxes about what they can do and what they can be in their life, it has robbed generations of people of the limitlessness that they came here to unleash in this experience. Do you really want to stay in that? Just to be proven right? Just to prove that there is nothing written in the ephemeris that this portal activation is happening on a day that so many people have been able to tap into? Do you need to prove them wrong? Do you want to keep fracturing the energy? Or do you want to get on board for our new earth living? Do you want to be a part of what humans came to add in this co-creative energy with astrology? So if we just let astrology happen to us, then we're never going to create the massive evolution in quantum ways that's possible when we work with the astrology and from the astrology. Take that in. Take it in right now. The astrology can happen. And as humans, as the creators and imaginators that we came to be, we are here to make history. We are here to evolve in ways that have never even been contemplated or considered conceptually by the human mind. So when you try to keep us in what is fixed, which, by the way, we are in a shit ton of fixed energy right now. And who knows, maybe that's why this is coming out the way that it is from some mouths and in their need to not change what is known in the books or history, right? You negate the possibility of us creating and knowing what we have never experienced before. Because if you keep us locked into what we've always known or what's written in the ephemeris, you are only perpetuating the frankly boring and tired old earth systems of I'm right, you're wrong, polarization, division, expertise narrative and fractured energy where we never will get to realize the full extent of our miraculous power from the light codes, the portals, the activations, the energy that's available, especially when we move through it on a mass belief system and consciousness level that we are emanating out together into the energy grid on the day that has been designated as a numerology portal that everyone is tapping into at the same time. This, my friends, is the fluidity of the new earth that we are moving into, that we are building from these places of mass connection on these portal days and activations. For reals, we no longer need some book in history to tell us when something is going to happen or how it's going to happen. We need to tap into the ancient knowledge and wisdom and light codes in our cells and DNA. And through this portal, the lionsgate portal, let me tell you that we are tapping into the DNA of those ancient Egyptians that held and knew and felt the light and the power of what happens when you are so fully connected with the cosmos and nature that you have no other distractions or energies to deter you from what you are feeling, sensing, understanding, and being. You feeling how fired up and passionate I am about this? Because the way that we are going to make the deepest quantum change in where we're moving is not by looking at specific books in history, not by being the expert of whatever it is that we're sharing. It's by being the student, by being curious, by understanding that the deepest change can and will only happen when we get enough pure, full belief in where we're going and how we're going to get there. Or maybe I should say it another way. It's no longer believing in, or it's the disbelief of systems like the expert narrative that have kept us so small and limited in our lives and kept us from expanding into the full light that we came here to be and live. This is the message that I continue to receive from the Pleiadians, that we will be able to change our 3D systems, our physical reality, and the way that we function as a collective through the shift in our belief. And when enough people tap in to what's possible from states of wonder and inspiration and creation energy and curiosity, and tap out of the rigorous and treacherous belief systems that had been resurrected around them from the culture, from communities, and from these narratives, we will be living from the light. And literally the frequency of the divisiveness and the debates and the expert narrative won't even be able to enter our field. There'll be no room for it whatsoever in where we're going and what we're creating. And one final thought that I want to share is about the archetypes that we look at in astrology, right? So we can look at the gods and goddesses, we can look at the asteroids, we can look at the zodiac archetypes, right? Like Leo, Aries, Pisces. I mean, I can go on and on. But was there one specific source that told us of these archetypes, like the ephemeris? There's not. There's not a specific resource. It has been an evolution over years of astrology knowledge and study and interpretation by people. And one of the things that I've always admired about astrology is most astrologers really strive to be inclusive and supportive of various interpretations and expressions of the energies of astrology because it is vast. And so my thought here is, if we can talk about the facts. Let's talk about the fact that there is no conjunction point in the ephemeris on August 8th. And then let's get a heck of a lot more expansive. Let's look at the gateway. Let's look at the full cosmic energy that's happening during this time with the astrological influences, with the numerology influence, and with the way that the energy builds. And definitely, absolutely, with the DNA knowledge that is becoming more and more available to us through our cells in this profound acceleration and evolution that we are in. Many of us are being reawakened and remembering innate truths that far surpass anything that we have recorded in history. So, if you ask me, I would much rather us all get on board with the huge influence of the numerology in 8-8 and come together in a space of reverence, of connection, of ritual, and full-on light-filled creation energy that activates this portal of Akashic record knowledge, of abundance, prosperity, magnetization, and manifestation for the masses. So to all of you out there doing the deep work, being wildly excited about this lionsgate portal and being available for the day that we have designated of our power together, thank you. Deeply, thank you. And I cannot wait to do it with you. So make sure you head on over and check out all of my programs and offerings at therawandwildhearts.com. Let me know how you're feeling about the Lionsgate activation date and what rituals and ceremonies you'll be engaging in. I'd love to see you at my free Lionsgate portal event where we are going to create some beautiful magic in the portal that absolutely opens with us, for us, and from us on this Monday, 8/8 Lionsgate. So, until next time, y'all, don't forget to look up. And with that, let's normalize the struggles, celebrate the quirks, and lean into the light. From myself and Beezus the Brave, happy Wild Heart Revolution, friends.